Finally, a tour of the secret underground complex below this house that I've turned into a studio. But first, let's pick a winner of the GM1 camera. There we go. Get this over with real quick. Okay, what do we got? I think I got one here. All right, the winner of the GM1 camera is Michael Lee in Evanston, Illinois. Congratulations, Michael, you got yourself a GM1 camera. All right. Okay, this house was visited by 3 presidents. I'm going to make a video one day called Ronald Reagan Used My Toilet. I'll make another video about the house soon, but right now I'm going to show you the underground complex that I turned into a photography studio. It took over 2 years to do it because I had to tear out some of the walls and that were actually holding up the house. And it was no easy task because there's stuff in these walls that carbide, cobalt, and titanium drills can't even drill through. It's amazing. The place is literally built like a tank. And that's because it was built in 1989 at the end of the Cold War by a guy that was a high-ranking officer in Patton's Third Army in the Second World War, and this house is literally built like a tank. Bulletproof glass doors, foot-thick concrete floors and walls, closed-circuit cameras, telephones every 20 feet with 18 phone lines, a lot of history and mystery. One of the things that was down there when I bought this house was a 90-foot rifle range. It was huge. The wall was full of switches that worked all kinds of motorized targets. I'll flip this one here and that one there. Look what happens. The targets move. It was a shooting gallery unlike anything I've ever seen before. One where you use real guns and real bullets. So before I tore it out, of course I had to play with it. Sure, it's fun, but if all the guns in the world disappeared, I wouldn't mind it. There's too many crazy people out there. So why did I tear it out? Well, the whole reason I bought this place was I needed studio space, and a shooting gallery is not exactly something you use all the time. So for me, that was just a big waste of space, even though it was really cool. There were a bunch of other rooms down there, including a large pool hall, so I wanted to join the rifle range, the ammunition room, the viewing room, the waiting room, and the pool hall together into one big space, but the walls separating them were holding up the house. Engineers and steel and concrete companies worked for over a year to figure out how to pull this off. It was a huge undertaking requiring all kinds of calculations, permits, steel beams, and cement trucks. Overall, the whole demo and rebuilding process took 11 companies almost 3 years to complete. And today, I'm finally going to give you a tour. I can't show you all the rooms, but I'm going to show you the main studio part. And there's 3 ways to get down there. An elevator, there's a spiral staircase at the other end, and there's a concrete step, I guess you could call it escape tunnel, at another end. So we're going to take the elevator today. I gotta call the elevator. The elevator is actually really cool because you can take heavy things up and down. So a lot of photography equipment can go up. Here it comes finally. It's way down there. It's like 20, 30 feet down. So, all right, so let's go down there. Let's take a walk down to the secret underground chambers. Now, this is a golf course out there. We're actually going to go underneath of a golf course. It's kind of cool. So here we are. Say goodbye to the golf course. And we're going down, down, down. Down, 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 down. Down deep into the depths of the earth. Deep, 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 way down, down, down we go to this door. We have arrived at the lower level. Welcome to Complex G21. All right. So welcome to my underground photo studio. So this is what you see when you come in from this door. First thing you'll notice is this came with the house. It's really cool. It's a 20-foot wooden carved replica of the Declaration of Independence. These guys, well, obviously there was presidents that were here. This place was used as a presidential fundraiser. I mean, a lot of presidential stuff. They had United Nations flags, closed circuit phones that are attached to, 18 phone lines all over the country. This place was, there's secret stuff in this house that is just so cool. I cannot show you what's behind that door. I still haven't put all my stuff away yet. But let me take you a tour through my studio. If you look down that way, this is part of the rifle range. I chopped it into several rooms. The front section is 2 sets, which I'll show you in a minute. These are the steel beams that hold up the house. There's 2 steel beams. It took engineers a long time to build a foundation with the steel beams because there was a wall going down here before. So this part of the studio is now opened up to this part of the studio. There are 2 20-foot shafts that bring down fresh air and some sunlight actually, which is really cool. Actually get a little bit of sunlight down here. And there's metal grills up top that can be closed. And the other cool thing is because it's a photography studio, I can black everything out instantly. That is so cool. And because we're underground, it's totally silent and it's actually temperature controlled. It takes very little air conditioning and heating to keep this place at a nice constant temperature. And again, because we're underground, hell, they put a rifle range underneath of a golf course. So it's, oh yeah, up here is foot-thick concrete. This right here is foot-thick concrete that it would take a bulldozer to tear this down. This is a bunker. We're actually inside of a Cold War bunker. It's so cool. I mean, this place is so cool. So anyway, check it out. Just take your time. Soak it all in. Here's my gear. Most of this is just grip and audio gear. All my cameras and lenses are mainly upstairs. I have 2 sets. This is my set 1 and this is set 2. And I have it set up so, and you can see the background paper and everything up there. But anyway, there is not only electrical outlets every 5 feet, but I have a bunch of switches here. So this is so cool. Each set has a foreground lights and background lights. So with one flick of a switch, so I turn the house lights off and I can turn on the foreground lights. So this is kind of patterned after a TV studio. I was in a lot of, when we were doing the National Book Tour and we were on all these news stations all across the country, I studied their lighting. And it was fascinating because they have really good flat lighting on like the 6 o'clock news and stuff and all these news shows, but the lights are all way up on the ceiling. And I said, how come there's no shadows underneath of the nose and the chin? Well, that's because they have lights all around, which kind of knock out each other's shadows. And that's what this is. The cool thing about having all the main lights up top is you can move your cameras around underneath them without running into any light stands or anything like that. Okay, so these are the foreground lights. So now I can turn off the foreground lights so I can have just the background and I can have like a specialized lighting on the foreground. And over here we have set number 2. This is a secondary set which has, so now the lights are off on set 1 and on set 2. And I have again, separate lights for the foreground and separate lights for the background, which actually, this is kind of cool. It looks like it's the backyard, but I'm actually underground. I'm in my basement here, and you can see the lighting, the stuff. Anyway, so I don't even know what to say. So that's set number 2. Now we move on down here to, here I have storage of a lot of grip equipment, all my light stands here, reflectors, motorized sliders, backgrounds, and this here, my gels, apple boxes, just generic stuff. And this is my boneyard of lights that I like but don't ever use anymore. Okay, in our next room, bulletproof glass, like who needs that? We have our props and costume storage room. This is one of my favorite rooms. It is full of all kinds of period costumes and props and fun stuff that I just like to hang out here. It's just, that's a fantasy world here. And we also have a lot of props from because we do a lot of kitchen videos. We have all kinds of plates and place settings and placemats and decorations and all kinds of cool stuff for decorating. We use a lot of this in our cookbook, so we use them on our recipe videos too. All kinds of stuff. This is like a really fun room to be in, where whatever we need, we get it from here. I don't even know what's in some of these boxes. I haven't even unpacked them yet. We've been here for 3 years and I still don't have everything unpacked. But this is a really cool art fun room. It's really quiet in here. This is from the princess video. I made this. This is made out of paper. It's a stool. It's a stool that's made out of foam core that you can sit on it. It actually supports your weight. So I got all kinds of fun things in here. I got my props from Atomic City, the retro, the miniatures from Atomic City and stuff. Whatever. All right, moving on to the next room. This is the spiral staircase that I take to work every morning. And this room here is my editing room, complete with Caesar's Palace theme. It's kind of cool. This is the escape tunnel with the concrete doors. Kind of cool. Anyway, so this is where a lot of the stuff happens. I have 94 processors.
A gigantic complex of computers.
Now you're going to say, why the hell do you need 94 processors? Well, I don't just do YouTube videos. I actually do a lot of other things. I do have a life beyond YouTube, and a lot of what I do is also 3D rendering, CGI rendering. So this is my underground editing facility, which is really quiet if I want to be quiet and left alone. But I can't be down here all day because it's just, I need sunlight. So I have another set of computers just like this upstairs that's connected by Ethernet. So some time I spend down here, and some time I spend up there because I need sunlight. I just need to it gives me feel-good energy. I can't be underground all day. But this is my underground part. I cannot show you what's behind this door. This is another door that's kind of secret. But this door I can show you. This is kind of cool. No studios complete without a change room. Bathroom. This is so cool. Look at how high this ceiling is. The fact that this shows you kind of how low underground we are, to have a 10-foot ceiling on an underground bathroom. This is just so cool. I mean, you can change, you can, do makeup, all kinds of backgrounds for hanging different things. I'm getting ready to do a World War II airplane shot here, so I've got all my costumes and props there. And of course I have photos of all my, the whole reason I got into photography in the first place was because of Kara, so I have pictures of her everywhere. That's kind of to remind me as to why I got into this. It's really got nothing to do with YouTube. I just love photography. Now, a lot of you are going to say, why do you have all this stuff if you say you don't need a lot of things? You don't need big fancy equipment. Well, like I said, I worked in Hollywood for 20 years, 30 years, I don't even know how long, long time. And I got a bunch of stuff, and this is my hobby. This is my passion. I love tinkering. I love comparing the big guys with the little guys. And I find that when I just want to make a video real quick, I just grab a little camera. They're more easier to grab. Something like this is so much more fun than something like this. And it's quicker, it's easier, and I get a kick out of being able to make this look like the same footage that this one took. And I love tinkering. I like to, see how far I can push these little guys. And it's just, that's me, that's my fun. And then after I don't use something for a while, I give it away, as you all know. So a lot of this stuff is transient. Most of this passes through my hands for a little while, I play with it, and then I give it away. So this is just my hobby. This is what I love to do. I like to tinker with photography and video and art, and I guess I'm like a balance of nerd and artist. Some of you might wonder what these things are. These are industrial air purifiers. I've got several of them throughout here. They cost about $1,000 a piece. I got them from Canada. I got them originally for the carpeting. I wanted really thick carpeting and padding put in here, so for sound absorption. And it just feels really good to walk around in something that's really gushy. So I wanted them to suck the VOCs out of the carpeting so it's not toxic in here. and it helps purify the air once in a while anyway. So, but I get fresh air from these two shafts that bring air in. And so, yeah, I don't know, look around. This is why you're here, might as well look around. It's kind of like a camera store here, I guess. I don't hold on to things for very long, so I try to keep the boxes. I don't always do that, and then over here I have bags for traveling. And here's my soft boxes, my umbrellas, more bags, strobes. I got grip heads, clamps, all kinds of things that you need to support things and whatever. All kinds of different lights I like to play with, LED lights. I love to play with the lights. I love to mess with audio. I am going to do an audio series really soon. I'm going to start, that's going to be a big series. The audio series is going to be a very in-depth, because audio for me is probably more important than the video part itself. So I've got all kinds of audio stuff here. You might say, well, if you're using the overhead lights, what are these for? Well, I do a lot of tabletop setups and just creative lighting where I put a spotlight on someone's face in the foreground. Anyway, it's just, I like to play around. I got everything, I don't know what I'm saying. Oh, wait, here's another light switch. There, more light here in the corner. But, I don't know. Anyway, so that's my photography studio. We are in a very cool underground facility. It's about 3,000 square feet, I think. Lots of rooms. I didn't show you everything, but this is the main studio part. I try not to spend too much time down here because being away from sunlight is kind of depressing, but it's a great place if you want to be, you know, in some place where it's silent. It's totally silent down here. And, you know, there's airplanes and leaf blowers and sirens up there, which is really frustrating. I mean, it's nice up there in the house when I shoot up there, but there's always helicopters and sirens and stuff. Down here, it's totally silent, and I can black it out with the flick of a switch, and I can be I can concentrate when I'm editing. It's totally silent. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. This is just my little, kind of weirds me out. So there you go, my underground photography studio. You were all asking for a tour of the secret facility. Here it is. This is where the mad scientist does his thing. I hope it inspires you in some weird way. I don't know. Everybody has their own way of doing it. You don't need all this. You really don't need all this to do great photography. This is just my passion. This is just my, you know, some people collect or do all kinds of weird things. This is just me. This is what I like to do. This is where, I mean, God, I'm almost 60 years old. It took me a long time to get to this point, so don't feel bad if you don't have something this big. You can do something in a shoebox. I already said all this. I just thought I'd share with you what I do, where I live. I hope you like it, and that's it. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye.